Good morning. My name is Jerry Blast. I'm a Public Information Officer for the Alma Police Department. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to our press conference. We're going to have Chief Sellers and Ms. Moore come up and say a few words. Ms. Moore is not going to take any questions, but she will be making a statement. Chief Sellers is going to read a press release about the case, and he'll answer questions after Ms. Moore comes up. But at this time, I'd like to have Chief Sellers come up and make a statement.
On August 9, 2009, 15-year-old Jasmine Moore was brutally murdered in her home located at 209 East 4th Street here in Alma. This murder has been an ongoing investigation for the last 5 years. On Saturday, June 7th, the Alma Police Department received some new information in this case. We contacted the GBI agent working the case with us, who come to Alma and got with us, and we begin to follow up on this new information immediately. As a result of this new information, Alma Police Department investigators on Saturday were able to obtain arrest warrants for Tiberius Murchison, 22, and Dion Smith, 22, both of Alma. And we have charged them with the murder of Jasmine Moore. Both of these suspects were apprehended without incident on Saturday afternoon and are currently being held by the Bacon County Sheriff without bond. Although there are still numerous hours of investigation left in this case, we feel very confident in our case against Murchison and Smith. This case has been tirelessly investigated by investigators of the Alma Police Department and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Numerous pieces of evidence have been combed through, dozens of witnesses have been interviewed, and many nights of investigators' lives and the lives of Jasmine's family have been sleepless. We believe that this is the beginning of the closure for the family of Jasmine Moore and for the numerous law enforcement personnel who have worked unselfishly on this case. I'm going to let Ms. Brenda Moore make a statement.
This has been a long 4 years that I have ever in my life experienced. But I'm glad this day is finally here. So that my family, the Moore family, the Nels family, Jasmine's friends, classmates, teachers, and the community can finally get some peace. Thank you.
At this time, Chief Sellers will come up and answer any questions from the media. Keep in mind that this is an ongoing investigation, so his answers may be very limited and brief, so just keep that in mind.
Have any questions I can try to answer?
They, if I understand correctly, would have been a couple of years older than Jasmine. Were they known to her? Were they people who went to school with her, or?
Yes, ma'am. They were both 17. Both the suspects were 17 at the time of the murder. And yes, ma'am, it is our belief that Jasmine knew both of them. Yes, ma'am.
Chief, this was the only 2 suspects you got, or are there additional arrests?
We don't, at this point in time, we believe that this will probably be the only arrest made. One of the suspects has cooperated very fully with us and has given us some information, and some information that only he would, or only the persons that committed the crime would know. And I think we feel confident in the information he's provided to us. And at this point in time, we believe more charges may be forthcoming as this goes through the process and gets to the grand jury stage. But as far as, we don't see any other arrests being made at this point in time.
Chief, I know this has certainly been something this community has been looking for a long time. What are your thoughts to know that this case might be closer to having a resolution now?
I was not the chief when this incident, this murder occurred. I became the chief about 3 months after this occurred, and I can tell you that, and none of the officers that are currently here with me or the agent that's assigned to this case was not originally on this case, but I can tell you that it's been on my mind and on my investigators' mind the whole time. And you know, not to go into details of the way this all came about on Saturday, the first phone call I received was about 5 o'clock in the morning, and all my wife remembered was me doing a fist pump in the air when I received the first telephone call. So just that pure, you know, joy that it's finally, you know, that's what I told Ms. Moore earlier. It's a bittersweet moment. We wish that we didn't ever have to come to this day, but because we are here, it's a great you know, thing for our community, and I'm glad that we are able to start the closure process with this.
I'm sure you can't share details of exactly what you were told that led you to these two men, but can you tell us, was this a case of someone has had information all along and just finally decided to come forward, or did one of these suspects begin to talk?
One of the suspects began to talk, and like I said, he has been a suspect for quite a while. I can't say from the beginning of the case, but he has been the suspect for quite a while. The Major Blash and I actually interviewed him in reference to this case ourselves within the last 4 or 5 months, and spoke with him about the case, and he finally decided to come forward and give us some information that was we were able to follow up on.
You all have never said how she was killed. Can you give us any indication of motive, or?
There within the investigation, we do believe we know somewhat of the motive, but it's not something that we're going to release at this time. Anyone else have any questions?
What's the next step for these two men? Will they appear before judge today?
They will appear before our magistrate judge today, and in all likelihood, because of the murder, will be bound over to Superior Court, and then they will go before Superior Court judge.
They will be tried as adults, though, won't they?
Yes, ma'am. They were both 17 at the time of the murder in Georgia. That is an adult, so they will be tried as adults.
You know what time they're scheduled to appear in front of the judge?
No, sir, I do not at this time. The sheriff and I had some conversations late Saturday evening after we made our arrest, and I believe that the sheriff is housing both of them in out-of-town jails. So, and one thing we certainly don't want to do is put them together. So, I couldn't tell you what time that they will be arraigned.
Were both of them originally in some of the suspects y'all had? I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
is this, do you think the district attorney will seek the death penalty?
I can't speak to that. I mean, that's once we give our case file to them, that'll be completely up to the district attorney's office. I couldn't even begin to venture on that far down the road.
Any other questions? For the media personnel, if you would like to have a copy of the press release the Chief Sellers just read, and also the arrest booking photos of the two suspects, if you would give me your email and contact information, I'd be happy to give that to you. And at this time, we'd also like to thank Sheriff Foskey and his deputies for helping us with this case. We'd also like to thank the Georgia Bureau of Investigations and our magistrate court, Chief Magistrate Boatwright and his staff for helping us in this case. And that will conclude our press conference. Thank you.